Hello there, everybody. Welcome to the channel if you are first time, or welcome back if you are a repeat offender of the AIMBOT. And we have to welcome my lovely wife, Lynn. How are you, darling? How are you doing?
I'm existing comfortably
You are.
as possible.
I believe you. I believe this claim. Yes, yes, absolutely.
Yes.
So it could be better, could be worse. No, I get you. I get you.
Mhm.
But yeah, so are you looking forward to aimbotting? Are you looking forward to these situations? Yeah, you are?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. I think this
Oh,
has to be done.
you don't have to be. I mean, you can sort of say, hey, this guy kind of roped me into it, and I'm basically,
No.
I love how the picture kind of has us in the
Oh yeah, that's
thing.
pretty cool actually.
That's
So
pretty
I'm
awesome.
wrong. I'm the wrong team. When you
hang on. Right. It's there we go.
Oh no.
There we go. You are now in the right. Okay, it's very easily fixed. I wish morality was that easy. But yeah, offender on a bender. Nice. Hi, left-handed Jedi. Good to see you. Always a pleasure. But yeah, I just threw this up. This was the thumbnail we had for today, but I like it. It kind of frames nicely, really. So yeah, fantastic. Are you okay with us being balls? Is that okay? Do you need squares?
No, I don't need my shapes are indiscernible from other shapes.
Okay, you're fine with a pair of balls. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool. No worries. All right, balls for the win. If you haven't been with us before, basically we're looking at this is, am I morally bankrupt or them? And basically we ask who's in the right, who's in the wrong. We go through a segment on Reddit called Am I the Arsehole? People want to be judged on whether they're right, whether they're wrong, whether they've done the right thing or wrong thing. Now, for my morality, it comes from secular humanism, utilitarianism, and consequentialism. Now, what that means is basically I look at what are the likely or the rationally expected consequences of an action, and does it lead to a good thing as far as people's well-being, or a bad thing as far as people's well-being? I think you'd probably describe more of as a motivist, Lynn. You probably will just, whether it feels right or not, you're sort of more moral intuition guided.
Yeah, I at the moment I don't know, but yeah, in general, I think. But I think in some cases, I'd try to be a bit more pragmatic about it because society, I guess.
Well, there's nothing wrong with pragmatism, at least in most situations. Sort of what gets you to the thing that you need to have done at the time. I think a lot of us live like that. What do we got to get done at the time, and just do it, kind of thing. I think pragmatism sort of falls down where it comes to, if you elect some orange moron who, it's expedient to do what he says. I think that's where it falls down. Like, it may be pragmatic to go along with it, but I don't think that's right. So, yeah. So, but no, in most situations for living life, pragmatism does work. I certainly wouldn't deny that. Well, let's get started. Let's go. But really, I'm interested in what you out there think, as well as Lynn, of course. Yeah. I make it sound like, oh yeah, I care what you think, but don't care what she thinks, and she's the one that's right as well. So
for today, for the next.
Oh, look, I can change this back. Don't.
I know.
I can just change this anyway. Yeah, but I'm really interested in what you out there think and why you think it. So I'm really interested in what criteria people are using to judge these situations. Now, they're just ordinary everyday situations. The judging is consensual. They posted wanting to be judged, and it is solicited. So they're asking for feedback on whether we think they're right or wrong. So I think we can get started and do a bit of consensual, solicited judging. I don't like to judge people when they don't want to be judged, but consistent olive 6 or 4. Did you want to do the first one?
I was actually going to ask if I could do this one because I saw the title.
Sure,
I haven't read anything, but I saw the title and I'm like, we have to do this because it's even more hilarious than the other ones that we've done before.
That seems insane, to be honest.
It just seems this is like people's heads have exploded, and I need to know why.
Okay. Yeah, I'm keen. Do you want me to still share my screen, or would you like to go to yours so you can flick through? I really don't mind either way.
I'm looking at mine, so don't worry about me. Like I've got,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I'll be fine.
Fun.
Yeah. Okay, are we going?
Yeah, whenever you like,
All right.
whenever you're
Okay.
most
Yep.
pleased. Yeah.
Am I the asshole for refusing to leave a wedding because I wore a dress that looks white under a black light? Bitch.
I don't like.
I love
My
it. I
first
love it.
reaction is you've got to be joking,
Why are you
right?
having a black light at a wedding? What do you, what else? Everybody knows what that exposes. Who?
Oh
Come
yeah.
on, like,
Well,
and people
you'd
do
hope
stuff at weddings.
you're right. That is pretty dangerous, really, isn't it?
Why?
What were
This is just.
were they having a rave themed wedding?
I
What's
don't
going on
know.
here? I
I don't know. But it's absurd. It's already absurd. So we need to find out
yeah.
why.
Yeah, it seems very absurd, but you're right. They use black lights to find bodily
Mhm.
fluids in
Mhm.
hotels, and
Mhm.
I've
Crime
seen
scenes.
CSI. Yeah, I've seen CSI.
Right. Clearly this couple hasn't because they've brought a black light to a wedding.
A black light to a
Who
wedding.
brings a black light to a wedding? Anyway,
Right.
a few months ago, I attended a close friend's wedding with my husband. I wore a yellow emphasis,
Yeah.
yellow dress.
Yeah.
I think like Belle in Beauty and the Beast yellow. Like that's yellow. That's canary yellow, bumblebee yellow.
Right.
Yes, you're
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
correct. So yellow that I did not question it was appropriate not to wear to a wedding, and neither did my friends or family. I arrive at the wedding, we have the ceremony, the cocktail hour, the dinner, and the reception. I get many compliments on the dress, and the bride even comments on how much she loves it several times. So you've already won the bride over anyway.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the reception, the venue dimmed the lights and turned on some black lights. These black lights made my dress appear more white than yellow. Okay, so not even plain white, just more white than yellow.
Right.
Here we go. A member of the wedding party approached me while the black lights were on and stated that I needed to leave because my dress was white and inappropriate. You'll never get those two words in the same sentence. Come on. What are you talking about?
Wow. Yeah.
Wow. The first time in
Nothing.
history white was inappropriate.
Right. Nothing that's ever been centered around whiteness has ever been inappropriate. Yeah, that's never happened.
Exactly. Whatever.
Yeah. So was it white and inappropriate because you were conflicting with the bride, or was it because you aren't a virgin? That's what I want to know right now, because I've heard people go, "Well, you're not a virgin, you shouldn't wear white," and I'm like, "Who cares? Like seriously, who cares?"
Weird people say that, but yeah.
Right. So I'm wondering which one it is. Probably that she's taking the focus away from the bride, or she could be mistaken.
That's usually
from the
what
bride.
it is.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But nothing would
Yeah.
surprise me anymore after doing
Right,
this
true.
for a fair amount.
Yeah, true. I stated that the dress was yellow, but the black lights were making it appear white. The member of the wedding party stated that if I didn't leave, she would make me. I stated I'm here to celebrate my friend, repeated that the dress was yellow, and said I would not be leaving early. Bride and groom hadn't left yet, and I came from overseas. So yeah, you're already putting in the effort. The conversation, while heated, did not have raised voices or foul language from either side, but I will say it was tense. The wedding party member walked off, and I watched as they immediately went to talk to the groom, angrily pointing in my direction. The groom shrugged and continued to dance. Okay, so she's already got a sign off from both the bride and the groom. They know the dress is yellow. What's this person's problem? So the groom doesn't care, and the bride has already said she likes the dress. So the two people you think you're offending.
Okay. But I'll say it was tense. Yeah. Okay.
So this person's decided to make a big deal out of nothing.
And the groom's like, "Who cares?" And if I was the groom, I'd be like, "Who cares?"
Literally,
I don't care.
like, someone's got to be in their bonnet, and whoever this person is. The next morning, I was approached by a different friend at breakfast, not in the wedding party, who stated that they heard what happened and that I should have left when asked because it made people uncomfortable, and that I made it about me partying rather than respecting wedding etiquette. The bride sets the etiquette. If the bride wants to have a bunch of chicks in white dresses at her thing, is she breaking etiquette?
I don't think so. I mean, it
Yeah,
depends on whether they've set it up as a traditional wedding or not. But we're not
correct.
even talking about the wedding. We're talking about the reception. I mean, the end of the reception, not even, the wedding or the dinner
No,
or whatever.
but that all counts. The all-encompassing. So when people say wedding, they mean absolutely everything to do with it, including the reception. So
Yeah,
if you
that
changed
is
into a white
ridiculous.
dress, yeah, people would be angry.
Yeah, my initial thought is that's ridiculous. Like, seriously, it's not like she wore it to upstage the
No,
bride or anything like that.
right.
I've got a funny feeling maybe they just didn't like her and wanted an
Hmm.
excuse to tell her to leave. I
Probably.
I
Yeah. Because this thing, like using the phrase respecting wedding etiquette, that's another social contract that you're subscribing to a situation that has nothing to do with you. Like you're just using a term like etiquette. It's wrong. Like these people who propriety and etiquette mean too much to these people. You have to follow these certain social rules or you get disbarred from
yeah.
attending them. The bride has not set that etiquette. The groom hasn't set that
Mhm.
etiquette. So if neither of those two people are offended, you have no case in this circumstance.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think
No.
that it would be, just up to the bride and groom. And if
Right.
obviously they went to the people getting married and went, "Oh, how dare
Mhm.
they wear white?" And obviously the
Mhm.
groom just went, "Who cares?" The bride
Yeah,
didn't
and
say
yeah.
anything to her, so I
Right.
presume, who cares?
Mhm.
Um, you know what? I would be probably saying to the person, "Hey, talk to the bride and just say, hey, I
Mhm.
hope I didn't, upset you or
Right.
anything. If you
Yeah.
didn't, don't worry about it." Like, seriously.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really weird.
Because she's saying, I felt incredibly embarrassed about this sin, so am I the arsehole for not leaving? Wore yellow to look like under black white, was asked to leave by men, told other. Yeah, it's just someone else made a
Mm,
scene and then accused you of making everybody uncomfortable. That's what I'm reading into it.
yeah. Oh, do
Somebody else
you
made that a problem.
do you remember that dress thing with the image of the dress that looked like blue and black to
Mhm.
some people and white
Mhm.
and gold to others?
Mhm.
Imagine if that happened. Like,
Right.
and someone was like, "Oh, you're wearing a white dress," and another person's like,
Right.
"No,
No,
no,
you're
they
wearing
aren't."
it's blue and black.
I know that was
Right.
something to do with the
Yeah.
photography, but
Right. But
still.
still, if it were a real world circumstance, it would still be ridiculous.
Yeah, yep. Do you wanna,
Yeah. Mhm.
like, just grab some comments from the Redditors and see, and I'm
Yes.
gonna do the
The poll.
poll? Poll?
Mhm.
I'm gonna pole dance.
Okay,
You
you do your thing.
okay.
You
Alright.
go, you pink pony girl. Um, so the first one from Ducky818, this is the top comment. Not the arsehole. Who checks their attire under black lights to see if it passes? Ridiculousness.
Maybe we
I
should. Maybe we
understand.
should.
Maybe we should just in case. Exactly. Everyone needs to own a black light now. I understand if it appeared white under normal lights, but come on, this is an unusual situation at the end of the reception. You were fine, and whomever approached you was completely and utterly out of line. Some people have nothing better to do than look for problems that don't exist. Yeah, like in the OPs, I agree. It's not something like nobody would have thought about that.
Well,
I went to plenty of places where you do go, oh cool, my shirt's doing this thing, and that's the end of it.
yeah. Oh, look, and I've had some bad experiences with blacklight. Like,
Mhm.
I had a white shirt and it made it look transparent, and I was very
Right.
nipply to say the least.
Mhm.
So I think that we've all had
Mhm.
problems with the black light kind of thing. So
Right. You
you
go
know,
to any rave, yeah, you just.
yeah,
So someone else said to that, no one would have because it's unreasonable. It's also every pastel or lighter tone dress would have looked white under black light. So yeah, it's just because you happen to be wearing something particularly.
yeah.
And colors are weird. Colors in the color spectrum is weird, and the way we perceive color is weird. So
Mm.
because you can have an argument over the shade of white in these circumstances, and people will go, well, it's eggshell, it's not white. So
Well, you might.
then you have to, yeah.
I wouldn't.
I've
I
I
don't care.
wouldn't personally, but I've seen
Yeah, yeah,
people
yeah.
make those
Gotcha, gotcha.
arguments.
Yeah.
So color is weird, yo. Our perception of color, none of us see color the same. Is the argument I'm making? Nobody has a set 100% will see because I could show you two different shades of something that look very similar. I'll see the
Mhm.
difference in shading and you won't, or if you're colorblind.
Well,
So this
that sort of
person,
that sort of comes through as what is it? It's oh God, I can't remember the name for it. It's something in philosophy. It's like your perceptions, and they're kind of unique.
yeah, I can't remember.
Qualia. I was
Okay.
just about to Google it. Qualia is sort of, your unique perception that you can't sort of, share with anybody else because it's your unique one, if you get what I mean.
So take a photo of the dress and send it to anyone who asks simply, "This is the dress, you tell me if it looks white." What you have here is a bridesmaid who was too angry drunk to behave like a reasonable person, and I was not going to leave the wedding because the bridesmaid was sloppy drunk. Let that narrative take over. Like, yeah, you could make this person look way worse than you're actually doing as well.
Maybe you're getting different comments than I am. I don't see those comments. I've got a
They're right underneath the Ducky one, maybe.
Ducky one. Ducky.
Yeah,
Hello,
that
Ducky.
Ducky 818.
Yeah.
I'm in the thread. Sorry. Oh, you just want to read the comments.
Just
Okay,
read the
sorry.
main comment.
All
Don't
right.
read the
Okay.
thread. It's going to go forever
Okay,
on this.
that's true. Yeah, no, fair enough. Not the arsehole. Did the bride even care? That's Sugary Puzzler is
Yeah.
the next main comment. Sorry
Sugar
about that.
syrup guzzler. Okay, well, that tells us a lot
yep.
about that person, and
Right.
maybe more than we need to know. But sure.
Yeah. Did the bride even care? Clearly not. Sounds like friends making pointless drama considering they went to the groom, not the bride. Yep. If the bride cared and the groom would have known, you might give the bride a call and explore if she was offended, apologize and explain. It's up to her to accept or not. I mean, it's not like your dress was white during the ceremony, which is the other point.
Yeah.
So you're not upstaging anybody. Probably this person just didn't like you and probably maybe had an issue with you being there.
Or they're right, and they're just a person that likes doing that kind of thing for drama. But, do you think, I don't think it's reasonable to ask somebody to leave because they didn't know that their dress would come up white under a black light. I think that's pretty unreasonable.
Right.
Like and really what I'm thinking of, can you reasonably say that wearing the same color as the bride would even lead to any harm of anybody? I don't think so. Like, maybe if it was like in the ceremony and you were, trying to upstage the bride, I get some people concerned about that. But I think at that point, at the reception, under black light at the end of the night, I just can't see it leading to anything bad, really.
No. I mean, the argument comes, it's like, well, if you're in a photo with the bride and they're like they, I don't know whether they think, or people will think you're the one getting married. It's just, again, etiquette. I could talk to you about social etiquette for days and not be able to shut up about it because etiquette, again, is a subjective term. So she's breaching etiquette according to this person. Is it upsetting the bride or anyone else? Is it damaging anyone else's enjoyment other than this person's, which seems to be the case? No. And then she's in trouble for refusing to leave. So then she looks bad the next day to other people who said, you should have just done what that person told you to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens if the bride then comes up and goes, oh, where's so-and-so? And they're like, oh, we kicked her out because she was wearing a white dress.
Yeah. Doesn't seem like a very good...
No.
Yeah.
It's not your party.
Yeah. I'm going to go to some of the comments and just see. Reminds me of the line from the Guardians of the Galaxy. If you used a black light in the ship, it would like a Pollock painting. Absolutely. Yeah. So maybe you should look at your dress under a black light if you've just done something ahead of time. But apart from that, you're good.
Yeah.
It's a good thing I'm colorblind, so I can forgive my prejudice. Nice.
Yeah, I don't see color.
Blacklight, hey, was one of those themes meetings, maybe zombie or ghostly. It doesn't say, but what I presume is that because it wasn't like always in blacklight, it just says at the end, it kind of just went to, sort of nightclub kind of lights at the end, and someone threw on a blacklight, blacklight smoke machine kind of thing.
Right.
I do know. Yeah. Well, I do know couples that do that for weddings. They have like the formal dance at the front, and after all of the the old people that expect it conk out, then they
Right.
throw on
Then the
stuff
party
they like
actually
kind of thing.
starts. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I have a touch of color blindness. Shades are difficult for me to pick out. Well, if you need help with sunglasses, I know some people that can recommend it. See what I did there? Shades are difficult to pick out. That's bad joke. That's a terrible, terrible joke. The black light was definitely biased against vampires. I am 100% on board.
Yeah, anti-UV
100%.
party. Yeah.
Yeah, UV prejudice.
Yeah.
How dare you?
How freaking dare you?
It isn't like she could know about the black light, right? Like reasonably, you would say that nobody thought there'd be a black light on it. But vampires are awesome at partying. I know. I've seen Blade. That's actually a documentary.
Right. Yeah, Blade is 100% a documentary.
Yeah, absolutely. Left-handed Jedi says party like it's 1699. Nice.
Yeah.
How would that be in 1699? Well, it's the whole idea of this traditional marriage thing.
Yeah, I think a few people have made that comment.
Yeah, I mean, traditional marriage values, I don't have any real problem with, but this idea of the traditional marriage as in the father gives you away and, I mean, they're nice traditions, sure. I just don't see them as necessary. They're just not necessary in today's world because a lot of it is based around the idea that the family that owns the woman is giving that to another family, right? You are really, trading.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a business arrangement.
The dowry was a thing. It was a package of money that you would give to the son's family to take your daughter kind of thing. It was very transactional. It's annoying Puritarianism. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. I thought it went deeper. It never does. It never does. Yeah, left-handed Jedi, I agree. If the bride or groom was upset, yep, I agree.
Yeah, it comes down to their perception of what the problem is. They probably had no intention of making it an issue because I'm sure if the bride suddenly saw her and went, holy crap, your dress is white, get out, that would have happened. And then they would have been like, oh, but we're just standing up for the bride. The bride didn't ask you to do anything. Like the excuses that come out of these people's mouths when they're cornered on their behavior is ridiculous.
Okay, Gary von Schelwick says, Post should learn to respect tradition. Marriage is important and a lifelong commitment. And if she tries to taint it by going against marriage traditions, then she needs a moral overhaul. Okay, I'm not sure what you're sort of basing that on, whether it is sort of the sort of case that, who is it harming if you don't follow traditional marriage? I'm not 100% sure, but I don't see a problem with it.
So what does tradition then mean? To just to throw that question out there, because I'm just picking apart words right now.
Yeah. No, well, I think tradition isn't really a reason for doing something, right? Like, don't get me wrong. There's certain traditional things that there's a good reason for doing them, right? Like Christmas is traditional and you get to celebrate with your family. There's a very good reason for doing it, all religion aside. Okay, there's something there. But if the only reason you're doing something is because tradition, people have done it in the past, I don't think that's a good enough reason to keep doing something. I just don't.
No.
I mean, if you want to do it and get pleasure out of it, I've got no problem. But I don't think it should be expected just because that's the way it's always been done. Left-handed Jedi, I almost lost out of a job because of my color blindness due to working on color-coded wiring. Absolutely. My father was an electrician, and you can't be an electrician if you have red-green color blindness. You just can't, because if you can't tell the earth from the positive, you're going to have big problems when you go to wire stuff.
Have a bad time. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I know things like fighter pilots and pilots can't be colorblind.
Very specific jobs. Yeah.
Well, they've got to register the red and green lights on the wings from one another to tell which way the plane is orientated, kind of thing. So they can't be colorblind. It's really bad. Really bad. It makes you wonder, like, you have those glasses that sort of adapt to color blindness and cure, or they treat color blindness basically in these glasses. And apparently people are blown away that look through them, their entire world. Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, it would affect your brain very. I don't think people realize that it would be like if you're so used to one thing, it's like any kind of change. suddenly somebody gave you a completely different way of perceiving your entire reality. That would be a bit of a mindfuck as well. I find that interesting, like when people can hear for the first time. Because people are, oh, but if you've never heard before, wouldn't you love hearing? And like sometimes it's too much.
Yeah, sometimes
So,
it is. Yeah,
sometimes stuff be loud.
Yeah. You enjoy hearing until you hear like Ben Shapiro or something, and then you're
right,
like,
and then you're just like, click.
about
No,
hearing. Yeah,
okay.
no, I
can live in deafness.
Yeah. Gary Van Schwalek says, sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. I'm terrible with actual pronunciation of names. Shalquick. Mark is wrong here. It harms the traditional values of marriage. I don't think it necessarily does. I think that when you say traditional values, I think that if you're talking about sort of the role of the woman being a sort of something to be a good or something like that, then I don't really care if that harms it so much. I'm not really fussed. But if you're talking about things like loyalty and honesty and communication and all of those sort of values within marriage, fidelity and things like that, I don't think it harms that at all. Like just not having a traditional wedding doesn't harm the whether your partner is loyal and supportive of you. I mean, come on, Gary.
Like
what
plenty
do you
of
think?
plenty of traditional marriages end up very badly, probably because there was, I'm going to say, rooted in too much tradition, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I was talking about this the other day. Fun fact: atheists have very low divorce rates in comparison to Christians. It's like only about 11% among atheists. Muslims are even lower; they're 8%, and I think Jewish people are low. But I think that there is lurking variables there. So atheist people, they don't get married as often, kind of thing. But so when they do get married, they're pretty sure of who they want to be with. So there is some lurking value sort of variables there. But it is true that sort of I think it's evangelicals are one of the highest, and Mormons one of the lowest as far as religious people. So Pedro. There he is. Gary Van Schellek. Nah, traditions are overestimated. That's why divorce rates are so high. People do it because they believe the traditional rights are the same of being happy. Yeah, I kind of do agree with that, Pedro. People think that a marriage is going to solve their problems, and it's not.
Right. But I think some people get married knowing they can get divorced. Like I think I feel like some people are just like, oh, well, I can still get a divorce later. They're a bit flippant about it as well. Like, because you can get out of the contract. So I just feel like some people treat it so flippantly for what it is, especially if they leave you because of something you can't control, like getting sick. They've just gone, okay, well, I can go because I've got the right to go as well. I don't.
Okay.
I feel like some people don't take it seriously enough who do get married. They just get married. Like, why did you get married 3 times? This is just something this is an opinion.
Okay.
That people who can get married multiple times. Like, because if you've had like 3 different marriages and you seem to be really whatever about being divorced as well, like you just go from one person to the other. That's not respecting the tradition of marriage either. Like, it could be different circumstances, but
I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe some people are flippant, but I think that some people, they just fall in with the wrong person again and again. Some people gravitate towards the wrong person again and again.
And maybe it's not them.
Maybe, or maybe it is, and they're trying the best they can. I don't know. I take a very sort of, people are trying. I get that there's some guys that seem like they're setting up franchises by like getting married one place, then divorcing, getting married another place. I get that, but but what's the alternative? Sort of like getting rid of no fault divorce is kind of
that was my other point that I was sort of trying to avoid, because that's the barrel that you're looking down when you start to impose traditions on other people and conservatism.
Well, at the end of the day, I think I would rather a whole bunch of people getting married multiple times than people staying in really unhappy and unhealthy marriages. That's me personally.
Yeah, like it's better that they left if it's causing a problem.
It isn't like they put on the invitations, oh, by the way, there'll be black lights. Check your guard. Left-handed Jedi, that was on my wedding invitation. How dare you? How dare you? That was the first line. I'm 100% lying. I'm 100% lying.
It didn't. That's black lights never factored into my preparations for that particular scenario. We didn't have a lighting problem.
Gary says divorce is only high since new wave feminism and is most about liberal and Democrat couples that divorce because they're unhappy. Not 100% true. As I said, evangelicals are one of the highest demographics to get divorced. Yes, it was the case that people didn't get divorced because they needed dispensation from the church, but you also had a whole load of very unhappy people together, Gary, and I think that's the problem. You know, literally in the past that you used to have women on, sort of mother's little helpers. What were they? What was the actual drug they were on? It was like Ritalin, basically. It was like speed, essentially.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact one, but it was sort of like chemist brand speed. Like, it was just
Valium?
uppers and down. Yeah, Valium's a downer. Definitely whatever sort of legal-ish speed you could get at that time in the 50s because it was so badly regulated. But yeah, I mean, I forgot what I was going to say. I mean, look at Elon Musk, the whole franchise thing as well. He doesn't actually marry any of those women. As far as I know, I don't think he married every single person that he's having kids with, but he's definitely doing that, behaving in that sort of behavior as well because he's worried about that. So, I mean...
Yeah, so it's kind of weird that the Republican Party are using him for their sort of, running
he doesn't have any of their values really. Like, not on the surface
very,
at
very
all.
strange.
Right.
Very, very strange.
I was going to say, if you want to blame anybody for divorce, blame Henry VIII.
Henry VIII, yes.
He's the guy. He's the guy that started it. It was his idea. It exists because of him. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. He wanted to divorce people. Yeah, so he found a way to make that happen because he was the King of England. And he made it a trend. I blame him, me personally.
Even a broken clock is right. Marriage, okay, Gary, marriage involves sacrament. I'm not sure what you mean by sacrament. Covenants, if you just mean an agreement, then yeah, unity, commitment, partnership, yeah, and a bit more. I mean, there's compromise, there's communication. There's a lot more to a marriage than just, sort of biblical values. I will have to say that. I'm not sure what you mean by sacrament, and I'm not sure what you mean by that. I don't think I've held anything sacred in my life. Nothing is sacred here. Nothing is sacred.
Because we don't do a lot of that, but during normal weddings either. There's not a lot of ceremony like in that regard.
Right.
In most weddings now. It's very devoid of that unless you're very traditionalist.
Well, I think it's more a legal thing now. You're sort of legally married, like you're sort of in a legal situation. Right. Let's see how the poll did. How do you think it went? Or have you seen it?
I haven't seen it yet, no.
And the winner is Posters Morality is Fine, and nobody has done anything wrong for a tie. There we go. Good old tie.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. Next one is from Telephone Constant 270. Well, I hope your telephone is constant. Am I morally bankrupt for refusing to attend my best friend's wedding after she replaced me as maid of honor because I'm too fat, I'm pregnant, and asking her to pay me back for everything? Okay. Why is it always weddings? What is it?
It seems to be another week of wedding stuff.
Yeah,
apparently this post is 18 plus for some reason. What?
What? Why?
Because I haven't signed in, so it wouldn't let me look at it.
Really?
This is weird. Maybe I must have clicked on a profile. No, you're wrong. I've clicked on the profile and not the.
Okay, it's an 18 plus profile. That's even more worrying. I, 27 female, have been best friends with Claire, 28 female, since high school. When she asked me to be her maid of honor, I was thrilled and went all out to make her wedding hold on, I've got incoming calls. I forgot to sign out of something. Just 1 second.
That's okay.
Sign out. Thank you. All out to make her wedding special. I paid for the bridal shower, the bachelorette party, a weekend trip, decorations, and other expenses, spending several $1,000s. While it was a lot of money for my husband and me, I wanted to make her big day perfect because she's like family to me. Did you discuss with her at all this stuff? Like,
That's
she
weird.
just paid it out. 2 months ago, I shared that I'm 4 months pregnant. Claire congratulated me, but started acting distant afterwards. She excluded me from conversations about the wedding and made passive comments about how hard it is to coordinate when people are distracted.
Okay.
I brushed it off. She's pregnant, not like you know working a job.
Right.
What? I brushed it off thinking it was wedding stress. Okay. A few days ago, she sat me down and told me she didn't want me in the wedding anymore. Her reason? I'm getting too fat. She doesn't want me in the pictures.
Oh,
that is kind of ridiculous.
Right.
She said she has a specific vision for her wedding and I no longer fit it. I was devastated. I asked if this was about my pregnancy, but she insisted it wasn't personal. She said she was replacing me as maid of honor with another friend who fit her aesthetic. Why stop there? Just hire a model. Like, seriously, what
Like,
are
if
you
you're that
doing?
obsessed, just hire a model and get her to call herself whoever this person is and
Yeah,
pretend this other person doesn't exist.
Yeah, well, I mean, why? Like, your maid of honor is supposed to be your best friend. Like, it's not about how she looks. That's very shallow.
No, I did not have that. Again, this quote, the fact of putting these words like aesthetic in quotes is just like, to me that makes it sound ridiculous.
I told her if I wasn't in the wedding, I wouldn't attend at all. I also handed her the receipts for everything I'd paid and told her that she or her fiance needed to reimburse me since I'd only spent that money as a maid of honor. I think that's actually fair.
No, that is. I don't even know why she spent that much, but yeah.
Yeah. Claire flipped out, calling me selfish and accusing me of trying to ruin her wedding. She said it was tacky to ask for the money back and expenses like these were my responsibility as maid of honor, but she's not the maid of honor.
Yeah, that you fired her, but she's still responsible for everything.
Right. I reminded her that she removed me from that role, so those expenses were no longer mine. I think that's actually fair.
Right.
Since then, Claire, her fiance, and even her family have been spamming me with calls and texts. They're accusing me of being petty and overreacting because of pregnancy hormones. I don't think so. Last I checked, I wasn't pregnant, and I find that very, very horrible as well. They're also saying I should have let it go and written off the money because weddings are stressful, and Claire didn't mean to hurt me. What, pregnancies aren't?
Yeah, like one's probably more draining than the other.
Yeah. Yeah. My husband has been incredibly supportive and says I did the right thing. He's furious at how Claire treated me and agrees I shouldn't be out $1,000 for a wedding I'm not part of. Correct. Yes, I absolutely agree. Yeah. And it's kind of, does the person's word matter at all when you ask someone to be your best man or maid of honor? You're basically, if you go back, you're just breaking your word. I feel like, and I could be wrong, I don't know these people obviously, but I feel like it's a case of she's worried that the pregnant girl might upstage her on, her wedding kind of thing.
Yeah, I think again that's something that like it's all about the bride. This comes back to my argument, and I know I'm generalizing again, but this attitude of it's all about her specifically, not even about the groom. It's all about how she feels on the day and her feelings and her stress and her well-being. It's all about that everybody makes it up. And so if you affect that in any way, you're the bad guy, even though you've got completely 100% a good case to say this person's behaving badly. Suddenly she's allowed to because she's getting married. Like this allowance we have for the bridezilla mentality because it's their day and you don't want to ruin it for them. But that's just my, again, opinion.
I mean, I don't know that for sure. It may be a possibility. My husband has been incredible. Oh, yeah, I've already had that. I feel heartbroken and humiliated by someone I thought was my best friend. Still, the constant backlash has made me second guess myself. Am I morally bankrupt for standing up for myself and asking for reimbursement, or should I just quietly step aside? Well, it depends. It depends on what's important to them. So if you feel like you need that money back because you're not even going to be part of it, and I completely understand that, it's like paying for a trip that you've been told you're not coming. Like, why should you pay for that? Right, exactly. Then I totally get that mentality kind of thing of I want the money back. If you just don't want to hear from your friend at all, then it may be better, and you don't care about the money. It depends on which one is the priority from my point of view, because trying to chase them for money, if you just want to get that person out of your life, then just fighting over money is just going to make them part of your life more.
Right. I mean, the worst case scenario, you sue them in a small claims court, which I think she would actually have a bit of a case in that case. But if they turn around and say, well, you could have just gone to the wedding, just not as the maid of honor, then you've lost that money. So you have to weigh up, like, is it worth pursuing that?
That's not necessarily true, because it was the bachelorette party kind of thing, which is usually only the maids of or the maid of honor and the bridal party.
Right. So stuff is definitely not going to be able to go to. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, true. Yeah.
You know, so stuff like that, a weekend trip for the bachelorette party, that she won't be able to go to that because she's not actually in the bridal party. She's just a guest.
Yeah.
So that's a problem.
Yeah, that is a problem, because it's like you're right. It's paying for a party and then everyone telling you you're not allowed to go.
Right.
That's bizarre that you've even that you're okay with just having this attitude and taking the money. Like, does that make you a moral person to suddenly say, well, you know, you paid for it, it's mine now?
Even
though you're not.
It just seems wrong that you would, you know, your best friend, you would sort of go, well, I'm going to take your money, but you're not going to be part of the bridal thing. Like, if I was if I was you know, the next person, I'd be sort of like, well, I feel like that's a horrible thing to do to somebody.
Yeah, it's and to make everybody else make you look bad on top of it, like going out of your way to get people to harass you over it as well, on top of everything else, instead of dealing with it personally.
We don't know that the bride did that. Like, they just
the families just reacted because they sound like one of those families.
Maybe.
I just like they just heard her side of it and went, oh, that's terrible. But did you not understand that she basically called her best friend fat, and you're too fat to come to my wedding? And that's she's still 100% in the right for doing that. Even without the money, you're gonna stand behind somebody who's like, I don't like how my friend looks. Like, that's the most condescending, selfish thing you could ever say to a friend, is like, your aesthetic doesn't fit my aesthetic. And is she mad that because the girl has been putting on weight because she's like not paying attention to how she should look on the day? Like, how dare you get fat and I have to change your dress mentality? Is it you're again maybe jealous that she's having a baby and this is your passive aggressive way of saying you're going to upstage me if you show up pregnant as my maid of honor? Say that if that's the case. If you're using aesthetic as an excuse to skirt around a different problem, it could be anything, and it just seems to me like she's using it as an excuse to exclude this person who, again, could upstage them. If someone's upstaging you at your wedding, then you've done something wrong. Like, sometimes it's not them; they're just existing in a space, and you're jealous of them. Like, I don't understand that mentality, but
I no idea. I don't get where that's coming from, but you know. Okay, so what do the Redditors say? I dread to think. Not the arsehole. She said it was tacky to ask for the money back. She didn't want me in the wedding pictures anymore. Her reason, I'm getting too fat and doesn't want me in the pictures. Bruh.
Yeah, exactly. Bruh.
Yeah, like, talk about tacky. Yeah. The irony.
Ducky's back. Yeah, like, just, it's like you're making it so obvious that it's for such a superficial, crappy reason.
Oh, yeah.
And why did you ask her to be the maid of honor if you don't respect her? Because usually, again, when you pick the maid of honor, it's someone you're very close to. Like, you consider that like a best friend role. Like, or somebody that, you know, you've decided, but, or did you pick her because you knew she was going to spend all that money on your bridal shower? You know,
Maybe.
I'm probably reading too much into this bride's particular mentality, but I find this behavior so fascinating in terms of just selfishness, just like the pure immorality of selfishness. Like, I can't say that this other person's being immoral for asking their money back when they're behaving like this.
Well, it's very sort of anti-Australian, right? There's this whole idea with Australia, like, you know, you have your mates and you know, that would be seen as absolutely not
Yeah,
on,
like her
mate.
friends,
Not
like the
on.
pregnant girl's friends, would have just
Yeah.
they would have been ropeable as well. Like that would have turned into a Facebook argument between the two
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
and just gotten completely out of hand because just no.
Yeah. Not the asshole. Glad your husband has your back. Yeah, me too. Yeah, what a guy. Like,
Yeah,
seriously. Yeah. Both of you can enjoy some quiet time instead of Claire's aesthetic. Yeah. You shouldn't be out of thousands of dollars, but now you're out one friend. Unfortunately, she has picked photos over friendship. I see no problem in asking for reimbursement of the money you spent in the role you got fired from. If need be, file in small claims court, and that's what you were saying, yeah. And be petty and do it before the wedding to recoup your money. Reddit suggests pettiness. No, really, really. I don't know. I don't see a problem with sort of coming to a compromise of, hey, you've got to pay it back over a certain time.
Yeah.
But if you go to small claims, I don't. I think that they would have to work that out with the court. I don't think that would be, up to you kind of thing. Pregnancy hormones have nothing to do with this. Yeah, I don't think so either. Contrary to what chat has to say about me, I'm not pregnant. Of course, you're overreacting because they want you to believe it really isn't a big deal and you should let it go. Translation, they don't have the funds to repay you. But if Claire didn't mean to hurt you, she wouldn't have done what she did and she would apologize profusely. Neither of those happened because she's not really a friend. Just remember, photos first. ATA. I'm not sure what ATA means. It probably has some...
Edit something. I don't know whether they've come back with an...
Since folks are wondering if this can even be taken to small claims court, anybody can sue in small claims court for just about anything. OP may not get our money back, but it sure would be a pitter for the bride. Like, I'm assuming that's not bread. I'm assuming.
Never come across that term. God damn it, need a dictionary.
Yeah.
No, I have no idea.
Pain in the ass.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Let's try and find out what AITA is. You know what? I've done these estimated time of arrival. I should have seen that coming, really. I really should have seen that coming. Yeah.
All I can think it's edit because some people go back and edit their comments.
Yeah. You're probably right. I just, I gotta know. Yeah. Okay. Not the arsehole. I wouldn't be calling her a friend. Yeah, it's hard to think like that.
Yeah.
Like, why would you get somebody as your best friend and then treat her like that when she's pregnant? I don't.
Well, again, it's like some people are really genuinely like this and they use a wedding to excuse that behavior. Like, it's like... It's the only time in some social circles where people think it's acceptable for a bride to behave, a single person. Like, rarely ever is it the couple that's behaving this way. It's society going, it's the bride's day, she's under a lot of stress, you need to consider her feelings, it's her. It's not even about him.
Yeah.
I think the husband's probably just going on with... The husband probably doesn't even care. He's thinking, well, he's not getting anything. Someone else might be paying for the groom's party. And he doesn't care about anything that's happening. But if I were her husband, this woman's husband, I would take her aside and very calmly say, look, if she is your friend, why are you doing this? Like, this is... Address her behavior. Why are we calling out the behavior of somebody who's just asking for their money back? It's always on the person who has a normal reaction to a very horrible situation. This is a very normal way to respond. Then it becomes their fault. Yeah.
Who knows?
Or the husband, they don't want... The husband doesn't want a bar of it, so he's the one off in the corner not doing anything because it's all about her. So you'll have husbands that just don't get involved in the whole thing at all. They won't do anything, and they just say it's she's throwing a party as far as they're concerned, and they get to show up and drink.
Why on earth did it become other people's responsibility to pay thousands for someone else's wedding? I kind of see where that is. You shouldn't have dropped that money in the first place. At least you don't have to waste any more time thinking this person is your friend.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I suppose you could say, you chose to spend that much money. But the bride probably was perfectly fine with that until you told her you were going to be pregnant. Like the bride probably didn't care.
Let's see what the chat has to say. Oh God, yeah. Okay, fair enough. If you want a good wedding, don't aim for it to be perfect. You aim for it to be something people want to go to. Happiness puts a sheen on the most scuffed affair. I absolutely agree, Reed. I think it really matters who's there in the relationships between the people there, not how big and important it is. I've seen very, very small, very sort of, just very close-knit people have wonderful weddings, not because it's big and fancy, just because there's been awesome people there and there's been a lot of love in the place. Women are vicious sometimes. Yeah. Women can be really vicious using emotional damage more than men sometimes. Men can be very, very vicious as far as overt insults and physical stuff, but women can be really sort of emotionally damaging at times. But yeah, pragmatic. So can men. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, totally.
People can be, like, anybody can behave like this. Like, there's no monopoly on that type of behavior. If you feel entitled to a certain thing or a certain behavior and you act on that, then it's not a gender thing at this point. I think what they mean is it's the way they express that. So a girl will be like vicious and underhanded and like this is all under the table kind of stuff and like alluding to a problem, and she's being passive aggressive, whereas a guy might actually be aggressive. Like, I sometimes think that's the only difference, is how you express the viciousness, not the viciousness itself that people notice.
Well, I mean, there's, as I've always said, any demographic, there's no monopoly on arseholes. They're in every demographic all across the board. You know, whether it's Christian, atheist, Muslim, men, women, definitely children. Like, seriously. Oh my God. Pedro, it's easier behind you. Yeah, sometimes. But if you've ever seen like somebody like Andrew Wilson, for instance, he is the most awful human that ever, he's absolutely awful. Oh, lucky you. You.
I probably need to not, I mean.
Yeah. That guy's so right about the photo thing. So many people act like asses for the gram. Yeah, I've never been part of the Instagram crowd. I don't really care.
Yeah, like that's and worrying about the photos as well. Like, just sort of going, well, if your end goal is to just have a lot of pretty pictures of a very average day, so you can say to people it was fantastic when it wasn't. Like, if your photos are that, if you're that obsessed about how the photos are turning out, you're not thinking about the wedding or the marriage, you're thinking about appearances. You're thinking purely in superficial terms. So if you're obsessing over how something appears as opposed to how it actually appears, then you're a superficial person. Because people do really put, like, that was like that other girl with any girl with a white dress. It's always about, you're ruining the pictures, you're ruining the whole aesthetic, you're ruining, like, things are supposed to look a certain way, and you're getting in the way of that. That's there. And that's not fair. That's not fair to put on other people if that's not what their intention is.
Yeah, and a lot of people are sunk cost fallacy, Reed. Like, they just, I've been this person's friend for a while, and I've spent all this time with them. If they're sort of treating you badly, they're not really a friend. Like, you can't just say, hey, but they've been a friend in the past. I think that's an ongoing thing that you have to sort of, Reed knows what's up. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, even if I went to that party, like, if I went on this trip and I was one of the other bridesmaids who got paid to go on something and that person didn't get to pay, I'd feel very uncomfortable about that. Like, if you're paying for a bunch of people to go on this bridesmaids party, and I was in the bridesmaids party, and they said, hey, so and so's not coming, and I knew that they'd paid for everything, I probably wouldn't go. That's just my opinion, but I'd be like, well, I'll go to the wedding, but I'm not going to the bridal shower. Like,
right.
That's me personally. I'd feel incredibly uncomfortable knowing that, like, you're paying for my trip while not being there, and the bride's perfectly fine with that. Like, I wouldn't want to be friends with this person, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Nobody
I
should
wouldn't
want to be
either.
friends.
Yeah,
I
no,
know.
Yeah. All right,
yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame you. Let's see how it's turned out. Posters morality is fine. Yeah, I totally agree. Absolutely agree. I think they're good. Okay. Next one. Oh, you get this one from Vanta Cherry. Congratulations. I'm just upvoting that straight away, quite frankly.
The spicy costume.
Spicy costume.
Yeah.
I don't think so. How spicy are we talking about here? Are we talking about like a leotard or something?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know what's spicy anymore.
Crotchless chaps or something? Like what are we talking about here? Like I don't. It depends how spicy is spicy.
Yeah, nothing but a G-string. Yeah, okay.
But you know what? At the end of the day, I don't think you're the arsehole for doing so, though. I don't think you're wrong for doing so. It may be unintentional, like if it was late at night or something. But let's find out more. You take it away.
Okay.
Take it away.
Okay, Vanta Cherry. I think that's very cute for someone spicy. Am I the arsehole for answering the door in a spicy costume? So I'm 24, female, and my boyfriend has been gone for a few weeks visiting family on the other side of the world. Coincidentally, the death of one of my co-workers meant I had to work a lot more during those weeks, and I was honestly pretty miserable and pent up the whole time. The one thing keeping me going was the thought of having a wild night when he got home. My boyfriend's sister texted me and asked if she could come over when he got home. I said we would both be really tired and eager to be alone. She said it was best to wait. Then I put my phone on silent, which meant I didn't see her next text that said she knew her brother, he'll find the energy to say hi. So she said no, and this person's coming anyway. I don't love people like that, but whatever. When he got home, the moment he was sufficiently unpacked, I changed into a Playboy bunny suit. That's cute.
Oh, that's cute.
That's a Halloween costume, honey. It's not spicy.
Right, exactly.
So this is like Bridget Jones. Like if Renee Zellweger could look good in it, anyone can pull it off. Then his sister knocked on the door and yelled hello. I was pretty pissed off, so I didn't put any effort to hide my angry aggression and answer the door in the outfit. I was pretty cold with her, and she got passive aggressive before reluctantly leaving. She said it was petty and dramatic over the phone, but I just hung up, prompting some angry text. Am I the arsehole? You said no to someone coming to your house. Let's forget about the outfit. You said, no, I don't want you to come. You showed up anyway. You are then responsible for how people react to however you answer the door. You've created that scenario. This is why I can't stand people who don't respect boundaries, because this girl's going to show up no matter what. So why didn't you just say, well, I'd like to see my brother. Can we, sort something out? She's like, no, I'm coming. I know my brother. And I'm not going to argue with you about it.
You'll find the energy to say hi. Look, I would be apologetic for interrupting, quite frankly. Like, why?
I'd be apologizing. Go, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, you got, it's, why are you making this about you, lady?
Do we need to
sister?
ask, the brothers, preference in all of this? On one hand you have uninvited sister, on the other you have sort of a girlfriend in sexy bunny outfit.
Who's been waiting to see you for weeks and has plans for the evening, which are very important to her. So yeah, I love the first comment. The first comment's great.
Yeah. Oh, really? What's it say?
Not the arsehole, multiple smiley cry laughs. You don't go over anyone's house when you clearly weren't invited. Even vampires abide by this rule. If she continues to bitch about it, you coming to the door in your spicy costume to tell her if she had only budged in just a few minutes later, then you would have been very happy to answer the door without the costume. She clearly does not know her brother very well. Even vampires. Yeah, if you can't even... I can't hear you on my end anymore.
Is that better? Am I
Yes.
picking up now?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. Sorry, the program did something. I think my microphone unplugged just briefly.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay, thank you for letting me know. But PC, no, you do what you want. Like seriously, you go PC. I'm all in favor. Like seriously, like this is just a one of those awkward situations. You shouldn't be like awkward about it though. She came over. You answered in what was obviously a bedroom costume. It's like, sorry, go for it. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Like come on, it's just leave them to it.
Right. You can't be affronted over that because you chose to. And like, why weren't you asking the brother? If he's your brother, why are you asking the girlfriend if you don't like what the girlfriend's going to say? Why don't you just text your brother and say, hey, is it okay?
Right.
And then if he goes yes and you're in the bunny outfit, then okay, I guess that's off the table. You might be a bit annoyed, but yeah.
If I hadn't seen my girlfriend for a few weeks and she was in a Playboy bunny costume and like my sister came, I would tell her to get the F out of here. Like seriously, you just get out of here.
Lady, come on.
Lady, you don't want to be here for what's going to happen. Get out of here.
Yeah, you just cock blocked your own brother.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Seriously. Wow. She's not a good wingman. I got to say that. She's not a good wingman. Like not a good wingman. I don't think so. I don't think she's, it's her house. She said not to come. Did she say not to come round?
She said, it's best to wait. So she was being very polite and saying no, but then she didn't see the message where the girl just completely disregards it and she goes, So when people say that to me personally, when they say, if you say no politely and they turn around and go, well, I know better. I'm coming anyway. Be prepared to. I cannot stand that behavior because you had every intention of coming and you don't like the fact that someone told you not to. So why did you ask? Because you were going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Why did you even ask?
I would never, if I messaged someone and said, hey, I want to see it, and they said best to wait, I would say, okay, sure.
Yeah.
I might send a message saying, hey, when do you think is a good time? But, like, why would you do that? I don't understand. And then to be angry at them for not being in a state to, I think it was more because she was, well, it was more because she was passive aggressive. But like, if that was me, I would realize, I've interrupted them. I better get the hell out of here because I did not actually have permission to come round. In fact, they told me not to. So wow. I don't know why you would do that.
So what if the poster had literally said, look, I am waiting to fuck your brother. Can you please just wait? Can we give it a rest? Like, what if she'd actually been completely blunt about why the sister couldn't come? And she would have said, look, I've got a plan. Now's not the time.
It involves a Playboy bunny outfit.
Exactly. Like I have planned this meticulously for weeks. I wanted to pull it off. Like, would the sister then go, how dare you? How dare you keep, like, this sounds like a sister that just seems a bit like.
Was the pun intended for pull it off?
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
Right. No. It wasn't intended. Okay, just
no, it wasn't.
Because that's phrasing. I'm going to bring that back. Phrasing. Look, I there's some things you just don't send in text, especially to your brother's sister.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like you would want to say, hey, we want some alone time. We want to be alone and spend some time with each other. It's kind of like if I saw a text like that, I'd be like, oh, they're getting it on. All right, I'm not.
Yeah. I think another comment said that eager to be alone should have been sufficiently direct. This sister doesn't care. She probably knew exactly what that meant and still went no.
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that? Like, what world would your brother respect that? Yeah, I hope so too.
He's about to get laid, so I'd say he was. Yes, that's what I assumed as well. Yeah, it's your house.
Yeah, someone's like, not the arsehole. So did you come here to watch us fuck or lady?
So there is a stipulation of that one. You can wear whatever or not that you want. Yeah, I think that if you sort of answer the door like naked, that's a problem because I think the courts have decided that somebody who does not want to see that might come to the door, and there's nothing to warn them or tell them that they might see something like that. So there's actually a stipulation that does not count. Same with basically being naked in the public view. So if you've got your windows open kind of thing, that, you know, behind closed curtains or whatever, you can do whatever you want. But if if there's a reasonable expectation of public view, you cannot do anything that would sort of violate the public ordinances on what
it's
you're
still
doing.
Indecent exposure.
Right.
Regardless of whether, no, that makes. I have heard that before.
I'm not a lawyer, but I think that's the way it works. I think. This is not real legal advice. Just I'll put that out there.
Yep.
So did you come here to watch us? Oh, thanks, Reddit. Yeah, thanks for that one. Didn't you realize you? Oh God! All right, Reddit, stop. She tried to override your no in your home. Yeah, and that's the big thing here. If she said, "Hey, come around," I get it might be a point. You know, like I get it might be, you know, she might have a point. But the fact that she was told not to, I think she's got absolutely no leg to stand on morally.
No,
absolutely
she doesn't.
Oh,
and I think if she told the poll, I think if she was like the sister went like this happened, I'm sure somebody would have gone, but hang on a sec, did you? So, because she'll leave out the fact that they, you know, said not to come. I feel like people like this, like when they go to get someone else's opinion, they leave out a lot of facts. But yeah, if you told me that you'd shown up to like your friend's house and this had happened, and knowing that they didn't want you there, I'd be, you know, why did you go then? Like,
right.
How badly did you want to see your brother? Like, that you couldn't wait a day?
I don't know. I'd be really apologetic if that happened. You know?
I would feel terrible. I'd be so
here.
embarrassed. And the fact she's not even embarrassed, like she's trying to make the poster feel embarrassed. She's turning it back on the poster for showing, like for looking that way, because she probably is embarrassed and she just wants to lash out at the girl instead of going, oh God, I did the wrong thing.
I don't get people that sort of go round to people's houses sort of unannounced or whatever, or, you know, like it takes 2 seconds to just send them a message or whatever. And if they can't answer a message, then they're obviously busy.
Right.
So why
would you show up anyway? Yeah, my mum does that.
I mean, occasionally, I guess if I was in the area, I don't know, I'd still just message or text or something and just sort of say, hey, you know, I'm in the area.
Yeah.
Are you at home?
Are you free or not? Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, who comes over just unannounced? History dense. Yeah. How old's the sister? Oof. Yeah, I don't know. This one's kind of, as far as I'm concerned, it's cut and dry. I don't think she's done anything wrong. Maybe that she was a bit sort of passive aggressive, but I totally get it. Oh, she got passive aggressive. No, it was the sister that got passive aggressive.
Yeah.
Before reluctantly leaving.
Yeah, so she had to even convince her to leave. Like, it wasn't enough. And then she said it was petty and dramatic. The way and then she's just kept, so she's got no boundaries because she's kept texting this girl after the girl hung up. So again, you hang up a call, that's the conversation over. And then you just keep sending angry texts. So something's happened to this sister that's like, you know, she's just like, how dare you treat me this way? Like, she's not thought of her behavior.
I don't know. It's kind of like well, you know, I want to see my brother. So that, like, maybe it is that sort of what you see sometimes. And I'm not saying this is the case. It could just be that, you know, occasionally you'll get the sibling jealous of the other one's partner because, you know,
because they're taking up their time.
Or they're more important to their sibling than they are. And that's the way that things happen. You know, I have a brother, you're more important to me than my brother because, you know, you're my wife or, you know, your family kind of thing. So, yeah. Yeah,
some people don't like to be deprioritized by their own family, but they don't accept that they've moved on. So they still think they're sort of like, well, just in the phrase, like, you know him and he will make time and energy for me because that seems like, well, that's what she's saying. Well, like, but he'll make an exception for me because I'm the sister. Do you know that? Did he actually make the exception and say, hey, it's fine to come in? I don't see that. I don't see anywhere where it says he went, yep, you're in the right and the girl's in the wrong.
Yeah.
that you had to be asked to leave. I don't know what his response was. I feel kind of annoyed that, because I think if the brother had come out and said, hey, just very calmly said, look, not a good idea, what are you going to do then? Like, you're just angry because you didn't get to see your brother, so you're attacking this girl, and then you're making a big deal about what she was wearing when she came to the door.
Let's see. Reed says, I bet OP's brother is going to be psyched that his girlfriend had the chutzpah to tell off his sister.
Yeah.
Maybe. Probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
It would impress me.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe this sister's completely oblivious to how he feels about her, and he's not 100% thrilled.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if my girlfriend told off my pushy sister in a Playboy bunny costume, damn, that's a flex right there. Yeah, we want to knock boots. Scoot, get out of here. Or rather, oh, okay. Did you get that the wrong way around? Brother's going to be psyched. OP's boyfriend is going to be psyched. Here's his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
OP's boyfriend. Yeah, here's girlfriend. Yeah.
Yeah. Rooster blocked. Yeah, I kind of think so, Ken. It really does seem that way, doesn't it?
Like a bro would. I feel like a brother wouldn't have done this. Like a brother would have got the message. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, in 2 seconds flat. Like,
yeah, friend, brother, and biological brother, all bros.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
You haven't seen your girlfriend in weeks. She's down. No bro would have done this. This is not bro behavior.
Yeah, this is not good wingman behavior. Yeah.
Like, your sister needs to be a bro. Like, I'm sorry.
Let's see. Okay, just an argument in the chat. All right.
I'm not seeing anything. I don't. Sorry, I'm not.
Oh, it's all right. I'm just reading. Oh, jeez. Could people just listen to the moderators? Like, seriously, they just listen to the moderators. It is a you may disagree, but it is a requirement to be in the chat to just do what the moderators say. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is.
Sorry, we have a mod supremacy, or not mod supremacy, but mod.
Look, my moderators are great. I trust them.
That's what I trust them too.
And we've got Robin Webster.
Thank you,
with
Robin.
the readership.
Thank you.
And hit Reed. Just smacked Reed. That is sniper behavior right there.
Ooh.
There you go. Actually, don't I have some giveaways to do? Thank you so much, Robin. You absolutely reminded me.
Yes, thank you, Robin. Thank you for reminding us.
Membership gifting. Yeah, I got 5 left. There you go. Bam. Okay, that could have been timed better. All right, there we go. Bam.
Bam. Kapow.
And Mark Ray gifted some readerships. For Logan Fisher, Catherine MC. There you go, Catherine. You got a readership. Sydney Raptor, Martik Mayer. Oh, I love Marty. Marty's awesome. And Tyler West. There you go. Yeah, well, you're welcome, Logan. So good. No worries at all. Oh, look, if Robin, I would have forgotten if Robin didn't remind me. I'm terrible with that stuff, Jedi. You know that. You know that. But I do try. Yeah, so let's see how the poll did.
What happened with the poll?
Yeah, morality is fine. Everyone's fine. Everyone's fine. Well, not everyone. The sister's terrible, of course. Yeah. I feel like there's some people living in opposite land in the chat, though. They really vote exactly the opposite to how I would, but that's okay. You know, they're entitled to their opinion. That's all right. Do you want to do one more, or?
Yeah. Are you okay for time? Yeah, we can do one more.
Yeah, no, I'm all right for time. It just depends on how long you want to go for, really. Oh, this is a successful tank, by the way. Just be warned. Not one of those failure tanks. It's a successful tank.
Okay. I don't see that one.
Really? It's another wedding one, apparently. Hold it. Let me see if I can post it to you. on Discordia.
Yeah.
Not sure why it's not coming up for you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure why that's not in the feed. That's okay. So are you, did I read the last one or did you read the last one? I can't remember.
I read the last one, I think, didn't I?
Yeah, no, you did. Oh, sorry. No, I think you did, yeah, because I read the other one. I can't remember. My brain's a bit of a sieve at the moment. Would you want me to? I'll go while you're doing whatever it is you're doing. How about that?
Yeah, go. Yeah, no worries at all.
Okay. Yeah, successful tank 851. Am I the arsehole for not letting my mum come to my wedding after she ignored me my whole life? Is there like a no? Is there like a day on this subreddit where everyone's like only ask this specific type of questions? Like, is this like Wedding Wednesday for Reddit?
I don't know.
I'm the arsehole.
That sounds cool though. Wedding Wednesday.
Yeah, only cool. Wedding related questions on Wednesdays.
I don't know. It seems to go on these cycles. I'm thinking maybe that, like in the southern hemisphere, it's just started spring, and in the northern, it's just started autumn. So maybe people are having weddings about this time, kind of thing.
Yeah, it is a wedding-y kind of time.
Yeah.
I, 26M male, am getting married to my fiance. Let's call her Sarah, 25 female, in a few months, and I'm super excited about it. But there's one big issue with the planning. My mum. Mums be mums. Let's be fair to mums today. We'll try. A little background. My parents divorced when I was 8, and my mum, let's call her Layla, remarried pretty quickly after that. She married this guy, Dave, who had 2 kids of his own. Ever since it was like I was no longer the priority in her life. She focused all her attention on Dave and his kids. Like, I'm not exaggerating when I say she treated them way better than me. They'd go on trips, she'd go on all their sports events, they'd get everything they wanted. Meanwhile, I felt like I was invisible. She didn't ask about my school, didn't care about my friends or even my mental health. I started to feel like I wasn't even her kid anymore.
Oof, that's rough.
Yeah, so yeah. When I turned 18, I moved out. I thought maybe she'd care and try to stay in touch, but nope, she didn't. I'd text her once in a while just to check in, and she'd either not respond or say she was busy with Dave and the kids. Yeah, she's moved on with a different family. I figured if she didn't care, why should I? So I just stopped trying to reach out. Yeah, fair. I think that's enough grounds to do that.
Sure.
Fast forward to now, I'm planning my wedding, and out of nowhere, my mum starts texting me like we're super close. She wants to know all the details, saying how excited she is, and even saying things like, I can't wait to see you start this new chapter. Like, seriously, like, yeah, I haven't heard from her in years. Now she expects to be front and center for my wedding. I told her straight up that I don't want her there. I said I'm not comfortable with her. Sorry, I just need some water.
Yep, no problem. Do you want me to take over, or are you good?
No, I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm not comfortable with her coming after everything that's happened. She said she really wants to have a relationship. We can talk about it after the wedding, but not before. That doesn't make any sense. She started crying and saying, I'm holding a grudge that I'm her son and she deserves to be there. But I don't know how I'm supposed to just forget the fact she ignored me my whole childhood in favor of Dave's kids. Now the family is split. Some of them think I'm right and I shouldn't let her just show up when she never showed up for me. Others think I should just let it go. It's just one day, and that I should let her come to the wedding to keep the peace. So am I the asshole for not letting mum come to my wedding after everything that happened?
I don't think so.
Superficially, no.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that...
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, this is again this whole no contact thing of like, you haven't tried. And I think people just don't realize they haven't tried. Like, I think some parents honestly think, well, I did everything I could for you, but you ignored the kid. Like, that's not everything. Like, you've got a perception in your head of how things are. So when they suddenly go, hey, that's not my reality, their immediate reaction is, how dare you?
Well, I think that sort of family members are the people that act like family members, you know, like it sort of is this case that people want to go, well, because I'm your mother or father, I deserve certain things that traditionally are associated with that, but they don't actually, you know, be your mother or father
No.
kind of thing.
They don't earn the
actually do
respect.
that.
Yeah.
Right. So I kind of, I sort of say that, hey, family is people that treat you like family. So if you have a brother that just doesn't treat you like family, then that's not really family. That's somebody that's a stranger. So if his mother acts like a stranger, then a stranger she shall be, or for all intents and purposes. I don't see why, just because you climbed out of her womb at some point, that she just has this right to be in your life if she's completely ignoring you and not doing anything for you.
Right. But I think that some parents really do have that. That's the bare minimum. Like, I brought you here. I put you on this earth. I am entitled to everything that I feel I'm entitled to.
Right.
Like, that's the most base argument they have for, like, yeah. And Titan was saying, like, that part, why are they talking after the wedding? Like, why is she dictating when they get to have this conversation? Why is the wedding, why does that have to happen before you have a discussion about the fact that you haven't spoken?
Yeah.
Why is that a caveat to her, like, when you don't even want her there? Oh, fine, you don't come to the wedding, but we'll talk after about why you didn't come to the wedding, perhaps. Like, you don't get to dictate when we talk about this. You've had opportunities to address this. You've not.
Right.
I mean, okay, fine, she may not have known that this was the damage that she'd done, but he's expressed why, and very reasonably. And again, everyone turns around and goes, but she's your mother, so she can treat you however she wants to. Is that what you're saying?
Do you think he should reach out before the wedding? Like, do you think he should try and mend the bridges kind of thing?
Well, I think that's what I think he should do, but she's sounding like, no, I'm going to come to the wedding first and then we'll mend bridges.
No, he said he's not comfortable with her.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, so he said, I said, I'm not comfortable with everything that happened. If she really wants a relationship, we can talk about it after the wedding, but not before.
Okay.
Right. So he's dictated that, hey, if they want to talk about it, fine, but not before the wedding, after.
Right.
No, that's okay. It's just, it's just the idea that, well, you possibly could repair that relationship, maybe if the mum's genuine and everything. I'm thinking that maybe, I mean, it depends how close the wedding is, right? I don't know, in a couple of days, it might take a bit longer to repair your relationship with your absent mother than that. But, it may be an opportunity to repair that rift, and I would probably try to do that. And I get that, but it sounds like maybe, and I'm not sure about this, but maybe he's basically saying, well, you can't come to the wedding, and then we can sort of fix it, just as sort of a punitive thing. And I don't think that's probably a good way to look at it. I think a better way to look at it for sort of well-being, your own well-being and the well-being of people around you, is to look at it like, well, here's an opportunity to repair this rift. If you repair it, great, you can come to the wedding. If not, well, see you later. I don't think you really should be punitive about that sort of relationship. So, but it all depends on why he's doing it and what he wants out of it,
Well, it seems to be that her even reaching out and saying, "Hey, I'm coming to the," like, it sounds like she's found out about the wedding. Did he send her an invitation? Is my next question then.
I don't think so.
So it sounds like
so
no,
out
exactly.
of nowhere.
Out of nowhere, she's found out he's getting married, and suddenly she's like, well, now I can be part of your life because you're doing something that I'm proud of. But you weren't even invited. Like, I don't see anywhere in here where she's just assuming the invitation is because she's the mum. Of course I'm coming to your wedding. I'm your mother. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
That to me, that's you're just a guest like everybody else at the end of the day. Like, and he's chosen not to invite you.
Yeah, I get that. But if you heard, so I'm trying to be as generous as possible to the mother, and if she was sort of estranged and with the other guy and just sort of focused on that, and then a wedding came up, she's like, I could have a relationship with my son again. Would the best thing to do be to try and make that relationship work. I mean, it is your mother, and obviously she's important to him, or he wouldn't be upset about this, you know, like he would just be like, yeah, she can't come, and I don't really care, kind of thing.
Right.
So
I
I kind of
know.
I kind of feel like everyone's being terrible, kind of thing. The
Yeah.
mum for just sort of calling just for the wedding, and the son for
Mhm.
not even trying to resolve things before the wedding. You know, I kind
Yeah.
of I kind of feel like everybody's being terrible in this one, you know, like really. I'm leaning more towards the mother being more terrible if she has just run for the, you know, gone for the wedding, and not, she doesn't have any interest in
Yeah.
resolving their relationship.
Right. Like she just doesn't want to be left out because, yeah.
Yeah, this
I
one's kind of a
yeah.
need more information, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for
I
need more information.
yeah, because I'd like to know from the mother, like what made you disregard this kid? Was it because they were the kid of another, the previous husband that you don't get along with, and sometimes that affects how you treat that kid, and you had a new husband with kids that you
Yeah,
just made you happier? That doesn't make him any less your son. If you didn't want to be with him, why
right.
is he not with the dad? Or is the dad completely out of the picture and you had to look after the kid? Like, what's her context for being this
Mm,
way? Like, I'd like to know more about what her motivations were, because all this guy knows is that he was ignored.
yeah. And
So
that's
if he said,
valid.
"Why
That's a
did you?"
totally
Yeah,
valid
yeah.
feeling. Yeah, yeah. I totally
So
get it. Yeah.
because my first question to her, you were going to have a conversation, is, well, why did you treat me this way? And she's either going to go, because of this, or I never treated you that way.
Yeah.
Or, she'll have some other reason, like, or an excuse to say, well, I met somebody else and they were more important. It's like, well, how does
Mm.
that person become more important than your own son?
Well, it might have been the father sort of, you know,
Yeah.
saying, "Hey, these kids are more." I'm not sure. It
Yeah.
may
Well,
have been.
yeah,
It may not have been.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's no context for that. And if he's not being given that, then how are you supposed to have a conversation and fix things if you don't understand why you were treated that
Yeah. I
way
don't know.
in the first place?
It's.
It's
Yeah.
it's hard.
Mm, yeah. All right. Do you want to read out some of the Redditors? What they've got to say?
Yep, I think the first one was Bo058. I need new
Yeah.
glasses, I can't read. She started
Ironic,
crying.
really.
Yeah,
Ironic,
I
really.
know. She started crying and saying, "I'm holding a grudge that I'm her son. She deserves to be there." And you're her son, who deserves to have a mother that cared and prioritized you at least occasionally, but here you are. You're well within your rights to hold a grudge until you feel comfortable letting her back in your life, which is not now. Others think I should let it go. It's just one day. I hate this sentiment with a passion. What peace? What would not be a peace if you had your mum at your wedding? Like, you're the one that's being affected by this, and it's to make everyone else feel better. Um, Childhood neglect is not something you forgive and forget for most people, especially when you've come to terms with not having a relationship with a parent. She doesn't get to waltz back in and ruin what's supposed to be the happiest day of your life, not the arsehole. So that's the first comment.
Mm, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The next one
Simon
is,
says.
yeah. So she must have some sort of flying monkey among the people you are in touch with. Do you have any idea who someone has been keeping her abreast of developments, or she wouldn't know anything about it? I'd be tempted to be brutal as necessary, tell anyone who raises the topic I'm not interested in writing her any kind of redemption arc. I have learned how to live without her in my life, and she without me. I have every intention of keeping it that way. The subject is closed. Well, yeah, this is a special pleading thing of, well, but the mother, you have to make
Yeah.
exceptions for these people. It's like, do you though?
I don't think you have to. I'm just
No.
thinking what would be reasonably lead to your best interests. And that all comes down to what the person wants, like whether they do want a relationship with their mother or not. So if
Mhm.
they are done with their mother, like they are really
Mhm.
done, I totally understand that, and probably just ignoring her and, you know, whatever she says is probably the best thing to do. But if they do
Mhm.
want a relationship, you know, you could reasonably say, hey, it might be a good idea to at least try, because not coming to the wedding is obviously going to make her harder to resolve that conflict with. Now,
Mhm.
if you don't want to resolve that conflict, then it
Mhm.
doesn't matter. But if you
Yeah.
do, then we could say that it might be reasonable to sort of talk to her first and see if you can work
Mhm.
things out. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I think he doesn't trust how she's going to behave, because he's like, she's going to make it all about, like, she's going to, you know, look like the dutiful mother she never was if she just shows up and acts like nothing bad happened.
Right.
So if he
And
doesn't want her having that opportunity to make herself look better, like, how much is she there for him, or is she there to make herself look better? And why is a wedding
impossible to say.
Yeah. And why has a wedding, next question, why has this person's like wedding suddenly become the moment you've decided to step up and acknowledge this kid?
Oh, it's hard to tell. I mean, it can be sort of regret welling up. It can be maybe the original poster was a bit of a tearaway when they were younger, and this shows that they've sort of grown a bit. I don't know. It's impossible to tell.
Yeah, no, I think she needs to be clear about her actual motivations and not just make it about the fact that she's the mother. Like, I'd be at least asking her what's changed in your mind that's made this event make you change your attitude, because now you're acting like I was the best son in the world, and I want to celebrate this new chapter. So, well, every other chapter was just, what, too horrible for you to face. Like, I'm more curious about her than I am about him. His intentions seem like way more obvious than hers. Something's, I mean, something might have happened to her to change her mind about everything. Maybe she's had a horrible catastrophic event and it's gone, oh God, I better, reconnect with my son, or that I'll never see them again. But I think she needs to be upfront about that.
Well, I don't think he's opposed to reconciliation. He just doesn't want to do it before the wedding. That's all.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's his choice, sure. Like, I totally get that. But, really, I'm just questioning whether that's the best way to reconcile is punishing somebody else. Now, if it's really close and you don't think you can do, I totally understand that. But, I guess I'm just wondering whether it's the best thing to do.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what the awesome people out there has to say.
Yeah.
Okay, and Reed's arcing up. I feel like OP's mum is more worried about how it will look that she wasn't invited rather than actually wanting to be there because she loves her son. Yeah, that's a possibility, Reed, actually. You don't say, I deserve to be there otherwise.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, I mean, it might be that she holds traditional values and, you sort of always have the mother and father at the wedding.
Right.
She may be what she's talking about, Reed, but that is a possibility, mate. It could be, she's going, well, if I'm not there, it looks like that I'm not his mum and I have done a terrible job. Which is probably true, to be honest with you, but,
That's what I mean. Is she doing it to keep up the appearance that she was a good mother the entire time and gets to... well, I'm here.
Good.
It's that sentiment of like, you were never there. Well, I'm here now. Okay.
Right.
You're here now. That's the end of that sentence. That doesn't absolve you from not being there before.
And something irks me about that thing. Like, it's not good enough to be there for the good times but not the bad kind of thing and just skip out on the bad times. I think friends and family should be there for both the good and the bad. I think that's the case.
Because he's obviously found someone to be happy with, and if you're just going to come in and he might have moved on, like, emotionally from all of this, and you've kind of
Lieutenant Jar said, as for the post, if you aren't in someone's life, you don't get to invite yourself back in my opinion. I get you. I get you.
She's self-inserting.
Well, yeah, and I get that, but really it depends on what he's after. If he is after a relationship, then it may be an opportunity, but like, I would understand why you'd be very skeptical that person that's been absent for so long won't just go to the wedding and then ignore you again. I totally get that.
Right. Like, she's just there for the Facebook posts and the appearance of a healthy family.
Reed says a wedding is something you deserve to be at. It's something someone wants to share with you. I totally agree. I totally agree. Yeah, absolutely true. Let's have a look. If mum comes, she has to sit in the back. No way I'm giving her the place someone else earned. Big if. Yeah, gotcha, Tops. Yeah, and absolutely, you'd kind of,
she's
tuck
not
her
part
away
of the party.
somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
And Logan says, sounds like a guilt trip. Well, it could be. Yeah. It depends on what the mother's, trying to achieve. But and probably I would sort of think that the person that the poster should really have some healthy boundaries where abandonment's concerned, because if he sort of lets her back in and then she just skips out again, that's really gonna that really stings, right?
That's making it worse. Yeah.
Right. The mum sounds like this is her opportunity, since it's a huge pressure to let a parent be there. You're right. She may be taking advantage of that. Yeah.
Of them,
Yeah.
manipulating it so she just gets an invite no matter what, and she can get the family to back her up and disregard what they actually want.
Okay, and I think that is the last comment from the chat. So how did the poll for that one go exactly? It went on, poster is fine, not morally bankrupt.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of think, I kind of leaning, after I've read sort of Logan's and that, I kind of am leaning towards that. Although I can't agree with punitively punishing someone for sort of stuff. So that, I mean, we can disagree. That's fine. Morality is very complicated, very complicated. So, so what did you think of the wedding theme of all of that?
Me?
Yeah.
Well,
it was a lot of wedding stuff.
It was a lot of wedding
admit.
stuff. Yeah, that's.
Right.
I mean, maybe next time, but we're just going by what's there. I don't mind talking about it because I think you get a lot of different opinions. But from a personal perspective, my mindset was just to make it the least stressful thing possible.
Yeah.
And it was still hard. Weddings are hard because you stress about who you're inviting. You stress about who you might have accidentally not invited. And I was, I was told not to forget certain people, and I'm like, I don't think the person who forgot them last time meant to do that. There was sort of an expectation that you invite friends, and then their friends like this. Everybody kind of hears about it, and then they kind of all think, well, am I going to get invited and stuff like that? And I'm like, well, I had to keep it small. And we had COVID restrictions. Like, we were severely affected by that. My brother couldn't come because of COVID. And my sib kid couldn't come because of COVID, and that sucked. And there were people there that weren't there for obvious reasons. So you make the best of what you can out of that circumstance. And I think getting mad at people for what they wear or how they affect your idea of how something should go is completely unfair. And if they're family that you don't want there, end of the day, it's up to you whether they come or not. It's not their right to show up to every event in your life that they feel that they should be included in, because again, is this a traditionalist thing of, well, of course you're going to have your parents there regardless of what, like, everyone just assumes that. Why are we choosing to make ourselves miserable to make everybody else happy on your own wedding day is the question. Like, why are you choosing that day of all days to overcompensate for other people? Because everybody has to feel included in that. Like, it's your wedding.
Right.
It's like any other party that you would throw. I don't see it as more important or less important than a birthday party in some regards. But that's me. That's how I place value on that.
I don't know. I feel like I feel like there was at our wedding there was kind of some weird stuff that went on, but you kind of just let go of the little things. You just sort of not.
What was weird?
There was that one person that kept, like, my brother's nieces and nephews. She was just calling them gorgeous and
okay,
absolutely fell in love with the beauty of my family for some reason.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's totally fine. You just let stuff like that go.
I know exactly.
And then there was my sister-in-law who absolutely was basically, it's her mentality. She just has to be a general, and she was like taking control of everything. And it's just,
I actually would have deferred to her. I think I should have gotten
oh
away
yeah,
with
I
it.
didn't
Yeah,
mind. And
because
part of
it
me
was
went,
chaos.
should she be taking this over? And I went, just let her go. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think
It
if it
really
made her
doesn't matter.
happy, but I didn't want her to be
Exactly.
stressed as well. Like
Well,
I really didn't want anyone to be stressed about what was happening.
I don't think it made her. I think it's just her mentality. She's an emergency nurse, very, very sort of controls emergency departments kind of thing.
Yeah,
like
if
in
you're going to get her to
charge of
organize anything, it's just
she will take over. Marrying Mark was a little weird. Yeah, it was a little weird for me too. I got to say, even I was weirded out by me. I got you. Thanks, Mama. Thanks, Mama. Cheers. Thank you. Yeah, no, just small things. You got to let that go, like seriously, and enjoy. Like part of it, I was talking about this kind of. I was before this. I was sort of just hanging out over at Chewed Gum over at the Line, just in the chat, and sort of. You've got to keep laughing at the absurdity of this stuff. So, obviously things have been bad over the last couple of weeks. Like it's just been horrible. But, part of me laughs at the absurdity of it because it's absurd,
Yeah. I think we need to lean into absurdism and cease finding meaning at some point.
It is bad. Like this is the thing about
things are bad.
Yeah, but dialectics, it's like, it's bad and it's terrible at the same time. You can find some humor in how absurd it is, like that.
That's what I'm doing.
But never be confused that it's a good thing just because you find it, something good in it. Like, it is
it's not
bad.
a good thing. You're putting a silver lining on it. You're just coping. Like it's a way of sort of coping with things rather than sort of dwelling on it. You have to kind of. And I think using humor is a good way to diffuse situations as opposed to getting angry. I do believe in using humor over. If you're having an argument with somebody, I don't want it to sort of dissolve into anger. I'd rather it sort of just be light enough that we can say what we want to say without feeling like we're going to offend everybody. And weddings are one of those places where you can very easily offend people by social situations are hard. And anyone would know that but us. Like we struggle with this crap every day.
Oh yeah.
And we as much as people say, well, you've got to try harder. At some point, do I have to try harder? Is it benefiting me to sometimes associate with people who are going to be a bit draining or affect me in some way? Like, and I think some of these people are very right to sort of cut certain people out of their lives if they're not, if they're not. It's not selfish by saying that if you're not doing anything for me, go away. But you're not asking that. You're asking for respect. You're asking for bare minimum respect, if nothing else. And if they're not even willing to give you that as a bare minimum, then they're probably not worth being around. Because I think you owe people respect before you owe them anything else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unless they're being absolute.
It's more just respecting yourself enough to have healthy boundaries around you to say, hey, you're not going to abuse me. You're not going to, leverage things against me. You're not going to treat me badly. And if you want a relationship, then you've got to acknowledge those boundaries. And even one of those boundaries is, you interact with me on a time that, we have a relationship together. So, I don't, I don't see people violating your boundaries but instead of sort of trying to punish them for it and get back at them kind of thing, I think sort of maybe just going, well, I really want you out of my life and, letting it go kind of thing might be a good idea. But it depends on the circumstances and it depends on what you're trying to do. There's certain people I've run into, but I've wanted to make people aware of just how bad they can be. It's not so much punishment as I want people to be aware of what other people's behavior can be, so they won't be hurt by them in the future. Which is fair enough, kind of thing.
Yeah, but I think at the same time, if you warn somebody, or even if you don't warn them, sometimes you have to let somebody else experience the same behavior you experienced, like telling somebody up ahead that this person's a bad person, and they go, well, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, leave it be. Like, I think I think some people need to personally experience somebody else's bad behavior rather than just telling them that they're, behaving badly.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But at the same time, I don't want them to go through the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, I get that.
True. Yeah. But I think if they're insisting on it, otherwise, if they're like,
Yeah.
no, thank you for telling me, that's fine. But I think some people have gone, well, thank you for telling me, but I'm going to engage with that person anyway. There's not a lot you can do after that. I'm really bad with people. I'm sorry.
Me too. That's okay. Me too.
I'm past the stage of trying to figure people out. Like, I'm not hating anyone. I can't. Some people, you're just never going to understand where they're coming from, and I think that's just what it is.
Okay, well, I think that will about do it for this stream.
Yeah.
So thank you all so much for coming. I hope the people that got the readerships come back and use the emotes, because I like the emotes, and they took me a tremendous amount of time to. Well, not that much. It wasn't that bad. But actually, I've got to do the last one. Enough time. Yeah, it certainly was part of my thing. But I am coming back on Thursday night Eastern time, my Friday morning. For Fundamentalist Fails. I'll have another one as per usual. And hopefully I can see you there. We'll try and get some stuff produced, and I'm doing a lot of work on stuff. So thank you so much for your patience. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps me out a great deal. If you do want to share this with people, I won't stop you. I will refrain from stopping you. Yeah, terrible. Anything else to add?
I don't have a lot going on.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you're not really a content creator.
No, I'm just contributing to the.
I've just roped you in for my nonsense, quite frankly. I've roped you in. It's terrible.
Yeah. No, but I'm glad everybody came, and I think we have good times. Sorry, I'm not in the chat too much either. I have my sensory sort of information can't read and chat. I don't know how you do that, personally. I don't know how you.
Look, years and years of doing it, because when I was on the sort of call centers and things, you'd have to do notes at the same time as talking to people and fixing their internet at the same time. So it was yeah.
Yeah, you've been in the trenches of
absolutely
service.
Absolute trenches.
The Telstra trenches.
Thank you.
No, it's okay. It's good.
I usually don't say the company. I usually don't say the company.
Sorry.
Well, the thing is, I do say I've worked in the largest two communications companies in Australia. So it doesn't take a lot to look that up. But no, I don't know.
I said where I used to work. Yeah. Okay.
The creators shouldn't read chat. You get out of here, Titan. You get out of here. You shouldn't read chat. It just makes you angry.
Chat is a free and democratic nation unto itself. Chat demands sovereignty. Chat demands the right to be seen and heard under their own terms.
If I can't read chat, Titan, I can't blame chat for everything. All right, that's my stance, and I'm sticking to it. Thank you so much, everybody. Don't forget, be kind to yourself, be kind to each other, and we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.